Cupcake has been here a while and she knows the course, she knows everything. Red, you know, has got a good place chance. Could win, you know, she's a decent filly. She's never been run a really bad race. So Red Light Girl is coming up from Cape Town and she is, we think, is ready to win. We've got two strong runners there.
Yeah, well, we'll start off with Our Destiny. She's very well handicapped in this race. I think she's a merit rated 95, carrying 55.5, and she had her first run here in Port Elizabeth a couple of weeks ago. She ran second on the poly track over 1,000 metres with a very strong tailwind on the day. I was very pleased with that type of run. If she brings her A game to the races, I think she's the class filly. Beat About the Bush has had a nice long layoff and she's coming back. But she's as honest as the day is long, and she always gives off her best. I wouldn't be surprised to see her in the shake-up and contending the finish, especially if the wind turns around and becomes a little bit of a headwind. Working very well, and as you know, she's one of my favourite fillies in the yard. Oaklander, she's consistent. She's always thereabouts, and always trying to earn a check or scrabble for a little bit of cash. And, you know, if things go well, she could run in the money.
You start off in the first leg of the pick 6 with 4 runners. Number 4, Starburst Galaxy, a very smart sort, and then Red Granite, Lucky Barb, and REINE TONNERRE.
Yeah, Starburst Galaxy is without a doubt the best out of the lot. Her first run, she had come back from a long break. You know, with her rating being so high, we just couldn't find a race for her, and we found that race in the poly. She was weighted to win about 3-4 lengths, and she won by a length, and the handicappers did the right thing. And although she won, they dropped her a kilo. She's still well weighted. Gavin Smith's horse is the best weighted horse in the race, Easy Street. But she's well weighted. She loves the 1200. She's got a big chance. And then the others, Red Granite, very, very nice filly. Yeah. Also, Tara's opted not to race on the poly, which is a wise thing to do. And she would be better over 14, but I wouldn't leave this out any of the exotics. She's a really, really nice filly, and she could surprise you with 51 in her back. And then we got Lucky Barb. She's won in the poly, and we just couldn't find a race for her on the poly, so we've thrown her in the deep end here. It's a bit of a strong field for her. She is working well. She could run into the quartets. And then REINE TONNERRE. That's right. But anyway, she's won in the grass. She's got reasonable form. It's a bit of a strong field, I think, for her. But also, just can't find races for these fillies, so we've thrown them all in the deep end. But Starburst Galaxy is the first choice. And Red Granite, don't leave it out. This is a really, really nice filly. When she gets over 1400, she'll be even better.
Take nothing away from Easy Street. She'll handle the 62. She's a very good filly, and she's enjoying herself down here. She may just still be in need of it because she's had a little break while we were racing on the poly, and I backed off her. She put on weight. But she got the services of Bernard, so there'll be no dead weight to carry. Yeah. And she's going to run a big race. Her work has been really well, but like I say, a race is a race. You may just need it at the business end. Joking and Cloud Atlas, both of them in with the lightweights, 2 decent 2-year-olds last year. Yeah. They've taken on obviously older fillies here, but they have got a pull at the weights, and Cloud Atlas got a big pull at the weights, so I think she'll race with 46 with the Epic Claim, so that's a big pull for her. The new filly, Well in Flight, came in great nick from Dennis, and she's a lovely filly to work with. Her work has been good. She's been putting up good gallops, and she's thriving down here. She's enjoying it, and I do feel a place chance as well.
Nadine, you know, she's very well publicised with her issues, so we first have to get her to the start. Hopefully we've worked around that and we found her a new friend. The course that she always went with, she left, and last time she didn't actually like the companion she had. So, but yes, she's fully capable, and once she's in the gate, she does get very focused, and I'm expecting a nice run.
Yeah, NEWCREST is a horse. You know, he's a little bit in and out as far as winning goes, but very consistent as far as getting places. He likes the 1200, and Greg Sheen gets on very well with him.
You know, his escape form is not too bad, but he hasn't given us anything on the poly track. He didn't enjoy it, and I just think it's the action. He's got such a big, long stride on him. I think he'll prefer a galloping track like the turf track, and we can let him roll along where he's happy, and I think he's going to run us a much better race.
Bahia is very, very well. He's taken to the sprinting like he was meant to do it. That isn't quite what he was meant to do, but yes. So I think he should be thereabouts. Man of Fire got a very, very high merit rating after his maiden, and I don't think he's quite in this class, but the only way we can show that is by running him. He's a very genuine horse, so we'll try. Battle Creek seems to have enjoyed Tajash, and Tajash rides him very nicely. So he's, with the 4 off, should be thereabouts. Dorman was a late acceptor because I thought the field would be bigger than it is. And he's very, very fresh and well. And even though he's at the bottom of the weights with REINE, shouldn't be disgraced.
Moving on to race 5, and Hit Him Again, Chuck also looks a decent runner.
That's probably our best bet on the card. He's ready to win. He could possibly win in Cape Town. Here he should find it a little easier.
Buckeye is running in a novice plate. He's a little bit out at the weights, but also should be in the money. He was very unlucky last time. He had to check quite severely, so he would have finished a lot closer on the day. And I think if things go nicely for him, he could be in the money.
Yeah, they are very good looking, both of them. Nice boys. Scribbo, I think he'll be running on again because that's the way he likes to run. If you set up handier with him, he doesn't seem to finish off. And BAFFERT, yeah, we're giving him a bash over the 14.
We are trying to just get him a little bit more enthusiastic about racing. He's a really, really lovely horse of Mr. Crabbear's. We've only had poly racing for the last 6 weeks or so, and he did show a little bit of improvement. I'd like to see more of that on the grass.
Done nothing wrong, nice type of horse, and he's clean, sound, good doer. Picked that race for him. You know, might have run in the feature, but at the weights we were way out, so it wasn't fair on him, taking on winners with practically level weights. I went for this race for him, drawn 1. The 1400 is a progressive step up instead of going a mile, and I think he's a big runner. His prep's gone very well, and although Tree needed his last start, he has come on. He may still need this to be at his peak.
Yes, being a novice plate, Nadine, they were very well weighted. We weren't sure whether Vaughan was going to come up and bring any horses. And yeah, he's brought a horse. It's very well weighted. It just got beat last time in Cape Town. And like I said, I didn't think he was going to come. And he's 6.5 kilos better than Plano and 7.5 kilos better than Kimberly Club. So at the weights, a hard horse to beat. But put a line through Kimberly Club's last run. His first run here was a really good run, and we're not sure what happened to his last start. We're now back on the grass. He is the 3rd best weight horse in the race. We're hoping for a better run on the grass. And Plano would be better over 18,000. Don't leave this horse out. This is a very, very, very nice horse, a smart horse. If anything beats Vaughan's horse, it'll be Plano.
Le Havre runs for you in race 6.
He's been very disappointing, but he's a difficult starter. For some reason, they won't put him in last, and he invariably gets left a couple of lengths. But if he jumps on terms, he's a huge runner.
On to the big one of the day, of course, our ALGOA Cup, and you will be represented by 2 horses here in the way of Kingston Mines and Scent.
Yeah, Kingston Mines, 2,000 metres, maybe a little bit on the sharp side. He was quite a good horse in his day, and he won our Glenlair Trophy over 3,200. But 2,000 metres maybe a little bit on the short side for him. I'm not 100% sure. Scent, he's there and thereabouts, maybe just not in this class.
Yeah, Laws, he never disappoints us. He always tries his best. If he doesn't win it or be placed, it's because just something hasn't gone right for him at start he's doing. Given the stars, I think he'll run a nice race. He does have his issues, obviously, and that we have to work with him all the time, but he's a nice horse. And Eternal Jet, same thing. We're trying that to 2,000 for the first time. Not a good race to be trying it in, but we are anyway.
His prep has gone superb, Nades. He's a fit horse. He's had a run or 2 on the poly as well. He's in peak condition. He really looks good. He's in good order. His gallop last week was encouraging. He had a nice grass gallop, came back well, came out through it. And he's picked it up in his work. And I think with the weight, we're going to knock on the door.
Stormy Eclipse took a long time to find his best foot, and we were scratching his head. He had reasonable form, and we just couldn't get him right. Tara eventually trained his way of training, and we put Charlie on 2 starts back. He ran a good second. I said, Charlie, you ran a good race with him, and you can ride him again. And he won very convincingly. Charles Slough is very confident. I have to tell you, he's super confident. It is a strong field. Yeah. The way horses are decent horses. He's a big runner. And then we've got Marston Commander. We took a while to get him right. He just didn't look right. And we had to get a run under his belt for this race. And we ran him in the poly, and he needed that race. And then luckily, thanks to Lucio, he gave us the grass. And normally we don't get the grass. And we gave him another gallop. He's now a lot fitter, a lot better. So we're looking for a better run. Just a pity about the draw, but we're expecting him to run a better race. And then road to Indy, also he just went off the boil a little bit. He's got a nice weight on his back. He's got a reasonable draw, and he could definitely run to the placings.
Listen, he's got a big task for 60 kilograms. He's had a beautiful prep. He won a very decent race last time out. Didn't beat much to say that, and it was on the different surface. He had a gallop the other day up over a mile on the grass. He saw the grass proper. Really galloped extremely well. And yeah, you know, we're very hopeful. There's a couple of very decent horses from the Cape there. That horse, Platinum Prince, I think will be very, very hard to beat, as well as Stonehenge. I've got to give them quite a bit of weight, and it's not going to be easy for him with 60 kilos, but he's 103 merit rating, his highest merit rated horse in the race. He's in good form, work is top class, and we're just hoping that he runs a decent race.
Obviously, Platinum Prince is our number one, and he won 4 in a row, but not against the likes of horses he's going to meet here. So it's a big step up for him, but we think he's ready. True Master has been here for a long time. We're trying to retire him, but he keeps on popping up and pays his way, so he's here. The other one, Master's Eye, is also up from Cape Town. He had a long rest. He had, I think, knee surgery. He's coming back. He ran a disappointing last run because he needed it badly. But he's ready now, so let's hope he can give a good account of himself.
Brett says of Nebula that he's doing very well, he's looking great, his work has been good at home, and he's got a little bit more weight to carry this time round, but he is well, he does like to run fresh, and a good run is expected. Next up in numerical order, we of course got the Sean Terry runner Stonehenge, and just to mention that both Nebula and Stonehenge of course have been previous winners of this race, so very exciting that they're back to try again. Stonehenge, left in good order, is carrying a reasonable weight, and a good run is hoped for. That does bring up a very important fact, of course, that Stonehenge left in good order. You've got to remember that all these comments were taken from trainers before the horses travelled, so that will be something to bear in mind. Andre Nell says of Load Shedder that it's a tough race, but they've got to try. If he brings his winter series form, he's got to have something of a chance. And we round up with Candice Bass Robinson's runner Ollivander. Nice horse. Unfortunately, he does come into this race under sufferance, but he races of good Cape season form. He's had a good prep run over the mile last time out, where he ran second to a decent sort in the way of last winter, and she does feel that he could be in the money. Moving on, and Tin Soldier, who was a tad unlucky last time out, and MAMBO TANGO will represent you in race 8.
I think you hit it on the head there. Tin Soldier was an unlucky loser last time, so you know, coming into this race, maybe he's a winner without a penalty. MAMBO TANGO coming out of a maiden win, you know, been on poly most of his life, and I think he's run one place on the grass, but he is coming out of a maiden win.
Race 8, and you're represented by Seattle Spell and It's Gonna Rain.
Well, Seattle Spell, we're trying him on the grass again. His best form for us obviously was on the poly, but you can't just write him off that quickly on the grass. So we're trying him again on the grass, and It's Gonna Rain. Well, I think he's bred to stay. I know he's out of a lecture dam, but we've had some lectures that ended up staying as well. So I just think on his grass gallop that we gave him, I think he'll enjoy the trip.
Larimar, he's done nothing wrong. Track and trip he enjoys the turf. He didn't enjoy the poly track at all. Never raced the gallop. Yeah, he might just still need it at the business end of things, but his work around has been superb. He looks an absolute picture, so he's in good order and expect a decent run. Mark's Glory, he's a new horse. He may just also need it, but I've put a fair amount of work into him, and I think he'll enjoy the trip.
No, he's, you know, this horse disappointed me amazingly last time out. It was shocking run. Got home, he wasn't 100%, and we fixed him up. His work is top class at the moment. I've got him on the grass. I can't say he's not out of it. He's definitely got to go in. I think you'd best put a line through that last run, and he's back over the mile. He's done well over the mile. We'll put him to sleep in the race and run at him with a long straight, and I think he's a bit of a runner in that field.
Consonance also has come back from a bit of a break, and we've waited for the grass for him. You know, he's had his issues, but he's got a nice draw, and he's definitely got it in with a place. I'll put him in the pick 6 and the PA.
Nabisco runs for you in race 8.
Yeah, he's the horse we thought the world of. He just hasn't done what he should. He's nicely down in the weights. He's looking superb. we gave him a chance in Cape Town last time we ran him. He didn't run badly, just didn't go through with it. But I think he'll have a good chance in a field like this.
You round up with a hat-trick of runners in the way of Excellent, who impressed on local debut last time out, So Enchanting and Margile.
Yeah, Excellent gave us a good account the other day over a distance way short of her best and ran on nicely. I think she'll improve if you're not too worried about the second run after a layoff theory. So Enchanting, always doing her best work at the back. And Margile, been a little bit disappointing since her win and needs to pick up her feet a little bit.
Fantasy Quest will round your race day up in race 9.
Yeah, I think she'll give a very good account of herself.
Precious Pansy, same sort of scenario. She had a total break when the Polly was racing, and she's enjoyed it. She's matured. She was a good 2-year-old filly, and she could have won a feature if she didn't run around. Yeah, she cost herself being green in 2 races of hers. So she's a very nice filly, progressive filly, trained on nicely, and I think she's a big runner for the owners. Peony Rock, she loves the track and trip. She's done decent enough on the Polly and on the turf, and she's looking for this kind of trip, and the type of field that she's in, she'll enjoy.
She's drawn right on the outside, but has needed a run for a while, and I didn't want to run her on the Polly. She's not incapable. I think her style of racing, she comes from off them, so hopefully we can just get her tucked in, and I'd like to see her running on.
Mind's Eye, not bad form. She's thereabout all the time. I think she's the better out of the 3, so we've put Khaled on, and she's definitely got a chance. No Green Stars. Chase Majan said, let's try her further. It is a lot stronger. She won the maiden. She won convincingly, but this is a lot stronger. And Chase reckons she'll be better over further, so we've thrown in the deep end over a little bit further. Let's see how she goes. And then Sandy Bay, her best form is over a bit further, 18-2000. But as I said earlier, it's very hard to find races for these fillies, so we throw it in the deep end here as well, but she could definitely run into the placings.
Yeah, it's probably one of my stronger chances with Queen Justine, but let's do Burnt Cherry first. You know, Louis stuck to her. He seems to fancy her, but he does feel that she'll just need the run and probably a touch further. I've got the blinkers on her, but definitely the preference for Queen Justine. Her work is phenomenal. She really is doing very, very good work. The same kind of work as she done when she won her. Loves the grass, loves the mile. Got a good jock on, and if ridden correctly and quietly, and you've got to ride her very no good and hide her away, she's a very, very big runner. I really give her a good chance on Sunday.
Yeah, she won a race we didn't think she was ready to win, so she's gone up in the weights. Going to have to run against horses that might be as good as she is. It's going to be difficult for her, but she's got a chance.